This is the OnePlus 8. I've been using this phone extensively as my daily driver for almost a year now, and I think I got a pretty good idea of how it has held up over the time, and more so how it stacks up against the recently launched OnePlus 9 series. Is it still worth it, and should you even upgrade? These are the questions that I'll answer in this video, so hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. When it comes to the design, the OnePlus 8 has one of the best designs in my opinion for a year-old phone. It has that premium feel when you hold the phone in your hands, and it's also made out of a glass back which you won't see, and that's because I have a debrand skin applied, but even so, it's still a solid design. I also used the official carbon bumper case from OnePlus, and there's no denying that it looks classy other than just providing some protection to the phone. The buttons are still clicky, and my favorite alert slider is also there that lets you switch between ring, vibrate and mute modes, which you don't see on many phones. The only complaint I have about the design of this phone is the top speaker grill. It gets covered in dust so quickly, which is also hard to keep clean, but I got a way to clean them, so if you wanna see the video on how to do it, then check for cards popping up at the top right of the screen. Apart from that, the top speaker pairing with the bottom firing speaker sounds incredibly good and even loud on max volumes when watching videos or even listening to music and other content, and honestly I have always loved the speaker quality of this phone. And talking of content, that display is also a good one even in 2021. Just a recap, it's a 90Hz smooth panel, it's a 1080p AMOLED display with a pixel density of 402 ppi. It's a curved display which some people hate but I personally love. It makes the phone look more beautiful, plus I've never experienced false touches as people say about it. Streaming content and even using the phone for what it's meant to do, like launching and navigating through apps, has always been smooth. On the other hand, colors are accurate on this display, and if you don't like the default color calibration, OnePlus allows you to tweak it to your liking, but overall it's a nice sharp display and I have absolutely zero complaints about it. Of course it's not 100% screen on the front because of that selfie cutout, but once you get used to it, you forget that it's even there. Talking of selfie, I don't take a lot of selfies, but that camera does a good job as far as face unlock is concerned. It's not the safest way to secure your device, but again, I like the convenience that comes with it. It's the quickest way to get into your phones hands-free, and just a little touch, you get this green dot every time you use the selfie camera, so a bonus for that. At the bottom you get an optical fingerprint scanner that also works as expected. Not so fast, but if you have your phone on a flat surface, it's the most convenient way to unlock your phone. Over the time, I've got very few tiny minor scratches on the screen, keeping in mind I don't use a screen protector on my phone, but that Gorilla Glass 5 does a perfect job of keeping it safe. The OnePlus 8 launched with Android 10 out of the box, and since then, I've got a couple of minor, major and even security patch updates that has greatly improved the performance and general usability of the phone. OnePlus has always been among the first to push OTS, but that only happens when you get their newest phones, and I think I've seen updates slow down a little bit because they now have much focus on the newer OnePlus 9 series. But I'm sure the OnePlus 8 will still receive future updates for a couple of years down the line, so nothing to worry about that. We just have to wait a little bit longer than before. Right now, I have OS 11 based on Android 11 installed, and it's still that classic clean, simple bloatware-free software from OnePlus. OnePlus lets you customize almost everything from accent colors to icons to the font and many more. If you wanna see the list of my favorite OS 11 features, I also have a video about that linked in the description. There's no going wrong about OS, and pairing that with the speedy performance that OnePlus phones have always been known for, I don't think you'll be disappointed with the OnePlus 8. This phone is fast. I mean, it flies in almost every process you throw at it, from launching apps to taking pictures to playing games and many more. And that's because of the Snapdragon 865, a year-old chipset and 12 gigs of RAM for my model here. I've only experienced a few hiccups here and there, but that's just bugs from newer updates that can always be fixed with future OTS. The OnePlus 8 packs a 48 megapixels main camera, and to be honest, I rarely use the 48 megapixels mode. Don't get me wrong though, it still captures crisp, sharp images, but I find the 12 megapixels mode just convenient and fast enough. As you can see, these photos are great and even comparable to recent phones. It nails HDR most of the times, and also dynamic range is on point. The ultra-wide also captures some good photos when you give it a lot of light, although the edges gets distorted, and that's what most ultra-wides do, which might just have been fixed on the OnePlus 9 series, but overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the pictures it produces. The last camera is a 2 megapixel macro camera, and honestly, I don't use it that much because when you do, you get pretty bad low-res macro shots that you would otherwise get better ones from the 2x digital crop from the main camera. Anyway, if you have a OnePlus 8, let me know what you think about the cameras and your experience with it. But what about video? The OnePlus 8 can record up to 4K at 30 FPS, and I've used it to shoot some B-roll for my YouTube videos. The quality is good overall. Lastly and more importantly, the battery. There's a 4300 mAh battery inside of the OnePlus 8, and I tend to get around 5 hours of screen on time on a single charge. I'm a heavy user though, I occasionally play games. Bluetooth is 85% always on. I take a lot of pictures, but on days that I decide to show it some mercy, I could actually get more than 5 hours. On the other side, charging is quick. It takes just a little over an hour to charge it up from 0 to 100% with the 30-watt swap charger. It lacks wireless charging though, which you get on the Pro model and all the other OnePlus 9 series. But other than that, you get faster wired charging, so you're not missing a lot. Just because I've said a lot of positive stuff about the OnePlus 8 doesn't mean it's perfect. Battery life isn't the best. I remember experiencing some bugs, but that was fixed by an OTA. Cameras could use some updates when it comes to white balance and color reproduction in the primary and ultra-wide cameras, and that macro camera, well, it's a bad one. So is it worth it to pick a OnePlus 8 right now? First of all the OnePlus 9 series have not convinced me that much, so I don't think I'll upgrade anytime soon. Secondly, the OnePlus 8 still performs like a champ even a year later. Cameras are just fine in most scenarios as most flagships nowadays, plus you can get one for a cheaper price than it launched for. Anyway, that's it guys, thanks for watching. Drop a like to the video if you enjoyed watching, sub to the channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Anyway, goodbye, and most of all, stay safe.